try it. Alright, so now we're going to get into properties of lines and angles and then properties of parallel lines. So, and then, okay, let me get my Kleenex box because we got to look at this in the best way we can. Alright, so we're going to be talking about different properties we know that parallel lines create, their angles that they create. There's all these different fun things, I guess you would say. Well, fun for me. So, parallel says parallel lines lie on the same plane, but never intersect, no matter how far they extend. So, no matter how far they go, and we're not talking about Euclid's geometry anymore. So, forever and ever, they have to be on the same plane. The best way that we explain a plane is like a piece of paper, but it goes on in all directions, so it keeps going this way and this way. It's ultimately like my walls, this is a plane, and it just kept going in all directions. So everything, every little box you would consider is a plane, but it just has to keep going in all directions possible. And we already talked about that the symbol for a parallel is our two L's. I like to slant them because I don't want you to think I'm saying oh. I want you to know that I'm writing parallel. Okay. So there's two different ways, or two different kind of lines we got to talk about. Parallel lines, which we just said, lie on the same plane, never intersect. The other kind of lines is a skew line. So the way that we call, like, not lying on the same plane is called coplanar. That's same plane because coplane. Co means two. We have a co-pilot. You're next to the pilot. So coplanar means you have two lines on the same plane. And if they're not coplanar, it's called non-coplanar. Kind of cool, right? So the other way that we know, or the other kind of lines that we know, are called skew lines. Skew lines are non-coplanar, so they don't live on the same plane, and they will never intersect, but that does not mean that they're parallel. That literally means that they will never intersect going opposite directions. So if one's going up and down, the other one's going left to right, and vice versa. If one's going left to right, the other one's going up and down.
For skew?
For skew, yes. And parallel planes are talking about, now we're talking about real things. So parallel plane, if we're looking at this box that we're living in, a parallel plane would be my roof and the bottom. They're both going the same direction, they're both going this way. They're never going to touch, they're never going to intersect, and they technically live on the same plane because they're a plane. The other kind of set that's a parallel plane would be my wall right here and my wall right here. They're going the same direction, they'll never intersect, and they lie on the same plane. And if you want me to keep going, the wall that Miss Felix is at and the wall that I'm at, they're both parallel.
Teachers, just a reminder, passing time has ended. No one should be out
So
of
it says,
class
write
now.
each word,
Everyone,
phrase, or
please
symbol
return
in the
back at
correct
this time.
oval. Can't
Thank
really
you.
see it, that's fine. We're going to be talking about parallel and skew. So let me talk to you about skew first before we talk about synonyms and why they relate. Skew means opposite. They're not on the same plane, and they go in opposite directions. So if you look at this, here's my Kleenex box. One skew line, I'm going to say, is right here, at my back part of my Kleenex box. It's going to keep going up and down. The plane that it lives on is going to be this back guy. Because that, if I would roll my marker, it's going to live on that plane. So here's one of my lines. Thank you. I guess I should bring, what's it called? I should bring straws and tape them to the box. That would probably be a little bit better. So here is one of my lines. Now, in order to be skew, we must live on a different plane but go the opposite direction. So I can't live anywhere here, which means I have this line. I also have this line. I also have this line. And I have this line. I can't choose any of those. That means that they live on the same back piece of my Kleenex box. So I need to choose. I'm going to choose something in the front section of my Kleenex box, but I have to go in opposite direction. So if he's going up and down, where does my other line have to go? Left to right. You don't want to go up and down again. That's parallel. So he's coming out this way. So one's coming up and down, the other one's going left to right, and they live on opposite planes. My up and down lives on my back side. My left to right lives on my front side. Anytime they don't live on the same plane, I could sit here and show you all skew possibilities. I could do this way. Those are skewed. They now live on opposite planes. This is skewed. They live on opposite planes. So you have to be able to just see, they have to go in opposite directions. They have to live on two totally opposite spectrums of the Kleenex box. Okay. I'm going to scroll this up a little bit so I can write with my huge ass handwriting. So we're going to talk about parallel, and we're going to talk about skew. So here are all our different words. Non-coplanar, coplanar, do not intersect, intersect, AE and CG, and CB and AE. So non-coplanar, is that parallel lines or skew lines?
Skew.
Look up. Read your little things. Skew. You're gonna write non-coplanar. Jason and Anthony going to go. Alright, so non-coplanar skew lines. They can't live on the same plane. So therefore, who is coplanar? Who lives on the same plane? Parallel. Nope, you don't want to write parallel. You want to write coplanar. Do not intersect. Skew, I can agree they'll never intersect. And so will parallel.
Can we just write it in the middle?
Sure. Because this is a Venn diagram. That's a math thing right there. Coplanar. See, like you have a co-pilot, you're both flying the plane. Coplanar, they live on the same plane. More than one line. Intersect.
Skew.
Well, you just told me skew does not intersect. None. Cross it out. Who gives two shits about intersection? Because neither parallel or skew intersect. Now it's giving us examples. So, AE. I'm going to connect the line from A to E. So here's my line AE. And then it has the line CG. I'm assuming C is up here.
Yeah.
Okay. You look at those out. You drew them out. Well, I told you that skew go in opposite directions. Do they go in opposite directions? No, they're both up and down. So therefore, that must be parallel. So AE and C. And the reason why we draw arrows at the tippy top is meaning that those lines go on forever both directions. If it was a segment, like it stopped, it would just be like the repeating bar would just be meh, meh. And then lastly, I'm going to erase this because now we're going to reuse the same diagram. It says CB right here. So CB and AE. That is skew because one's coming at me, the other one is me. That's me. That one's coming at me. Oh, don't write skew. So the line CB and the line AE are skewed. All right, now identifying non-intersecting lines and planes. So now we're going to talk about it. So in the plane, I look at this, all of them are different. So every problem, we have 11, 12, and 13, I'm going to erase. Because when it's talking about a plane, I want to define what plane they're talking about. They're going to give you 4 letters, because like I said, the best way that we talk about planes is like a sheet of paper. And last I checked, a sheet of paper has 4 corners. So therefore I need to identify a plane using 4 letters. So it's talking about the plane ADHE. So I'm going to go in order. ADHE. So we're going to reference this front of my Kleenex box right here. Here's my Kleenex box. We're talking about this guy. And it says we want to know who is parallel. So parallel to AD. So here's the line I want to know who's parallel to it. Using my blue rectangle. Who is parallel? Nope. BC doesn't live on this blue thing. It doesn't live right here. Okay. Literally take away everything. All I care about is this box. So who's right here? Parallel means not intersecting, going the same direction. So the line that we care about is EH. And it's a line segment because last I checked my Kleenex box doesn't keep going. I don't know. Technically, if it kept going, I wouldn't be able to touch it at all. It would not be tangible. It's not. Okay. Okay, now we have the plane. In the plane ADBC. So now I'm changing it. ADBC. So we're talking about this top plane. So the top of my Kleenex box. And it still wants to know who is parallel to AD. So AD is at the bottom. We need to find someone who's parallel to the top, which is BC. So you kind of looked at me like,
I was on the one before that. I think maybe you were talking about coplanar and not. I was having a hard time with the parallel ones previous to that. Sorry, on the end, like before problem. Sorry.
oh, they're talking about the very top?
Yeah.
I'll talk to you about that differently.
Okay.
Well, actually, I think it's going to answer you right here.
Okay.
Okay. So this is what, I'm pretty sure I'm going to nail this on the head. Okay. Miss Felix is like, okay, I don't see this plane. I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
My brain doesn't go to.
It
like,
says
places.
ADGH. Here's AD. Does it say H or F? God, I can read the alphabet, I promise. ADGF. Whoa, what the hell are they talking about? Those don't lie on the same plane.
Yeah, they do.
Okay, hold on. Last I checked, I can take a piece of paper and I can do that to it, right? So ultimately what it's saying is if here's my Kleenex box, it took it and it made a cross section, which you'll learn about cross sections in GOC, but you can bear with me. Cross section is like a sliver out of a figure. So they ultimately made a plane connecting your two opposite corners. And that's totally possible, because now they lie on the same plane. And they're both parallel. So it's okay if you're not forward, top, side, back, bottom, side. You can be all crazy. We can get some slants going. You gotta do whatever you need to do. So if we're lying on the same plane, let's get rid of this. Getting rid of you. Oh, not you. That's my weird ass plane right there. Which technically creates a parallelogram. So if I take my parallelogram, I care about AD. AD was at the top. What line is parallel to AD? F and G. So Miss Felix is all freaking out because she's like, hold on, you were talking about two lines. They were like this. They don't look like they're on the same plane. If I connect the dots, I'm just talking about diagonals here. That's a plane. Totally. I can cross-section this Kleenex box like nobody's business. Okay. You don't get it? You don't get it?
I got it.
I mean, they literally took
I didn't say that, I didn't say I didn't.
corner.
It's cool.
I just made a plane, yo. Just broke it. That's plain. That's literally what, and now you guys know a cross section is literally cutting out a sliver. Shit, I just made one. Cut out a sliver. And I'm talking about the sliver that connects it. Okay. Whatever.
And a tissue.
Oh, not tissue. Okay, so it says explain why. It says explain why FE, let's draw that. Why FE and CD are not skew. Why are they parallel? Haha. The definition of skew That's fine. The definition of skew. I'm just telling you. The definition of skew. Not going the same direction. Direction. And FE and CD are parallel. Same direction. So I give you a wordy explanation on why this is true. The definition of the definition of skew tells us they will not go the same direction, they will go opposite directions. So when we created our lines EF and CB, they both were going, whatever you want to call it this way, a positive slope. That's the same direction. That is not what the definition of skew says. You gotta go opposite. You gotta be weirdos. So they're not being weirdos. That means that F and E and C and D are parallel. Okay. Oh, it's because I combined two things. There were a shit ton of lines. We're going to finish with those, yeah. We're not going to get anywhere. All right, let me quickly talk to you, because this is me on my old separate sheet of paper, because somehow, hey, I'm talking. A transversal, because now we're going to get into properties of transversals and what transversals do to angles and yada, 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 yada. Transversal. A transversal is when a single line cuts through two lines. Hold on. So the lines don't have to be parallel. You're going to see that, come to find out, parallel lines are the bestest. They actually really do hold a relationship. But until we find out about parallel lines and the relationship that they hold, you need to just know that when you have any random arbitrary line, two of them, somewhat going in a direction that looks a little too perfect for me. Gotta fix that. Oh, that didn't help.
There you go.
As long as I have two lines going in somewhat of the same direction. A transversal is a line that goes like it's opposite of them. It's like the opposing team cutting through them. So the transversal, anytime you are looking at this, because I'm going to tell you, I'm going to teach you the basics, tell you about the relationships that they have, but I can complicate this by like 900. I could come here and I could add another line that's going somewhat of the same direction as my transversal. Now I can technically have like 5,000 transversals going here, because it depends upon what damn line you're looking at. All you need to be able to do is, if you can remember that a transversal is a single line that cuts through two opposing lines that are going the same, somewhat same direction, your transversal will create a relationship. You're going to be creating relationships between all these random angles. Well, it looks like a Pokeball. But you never know. I'm going to say
The effect of what?
Pokemon ball.
Really?
I don't
Well,
know.
that's what it looks like, and then it's
Not
a
really.
circle right here, and then
Not really.
or boo, whatever, one of the two. Okay, so now let's just talk about what kind of angles are formed by transversals. This doesn't talk about the actual relationship that they have, but here is the verbiage that you are going to use to help us with the relationship. So if you can tell, L and M are somewhat going the same direction. Yes, they're going to intersect, that's okay. But they're somewhat going left to right, you would say. I don't care about the degree, I don't care about what kind of left and right. They are ultimately going left to right. Our transversal is the one that's going totally opposite of them. Hence why they labeled it T. So one of the relationships that we have is, and I suggest that you underline this, our first relationship is alternate interior angles. And if you look at the bottom of your notes, it explains this about what's interior, exterior. Okay, literally those two words. If you remember, well, if you know, and an interior designer, if I went and got my degree in interior designing, what am I ultimately going to be designing in homes? The inside. I'm going to be like, oh, I want my fireplace to look like this, and I want my bedroom to look like that. If I'm an exterior designer, which that's not really true, but whatever, they're called something else. If I have an exterior designer, I'm going to be talking about the outside of my house. Like, I want a chimney. Create me a chimney right here. I want 500 circle windows around my house. That's talking about the outside. And your exterior is ultimately, it's the outside connecting your, I don't know how you look at it. It's like where your transversal lives. He lives out here. He lives out here. You don't have to draw my little squigglies. This is just me talking about it. Now the inside is my two lines that are somewhat going left and right. The inside is the shit in between those two lines. That's my interior. And that's how they're going to relate. So alternate interior angles. Are we talking about the inside or outside? Inside. And I'm talking about the inside. Here I am just going to draw it. I'm going to take it away in a second. I'm talking about the shit in between my lines that are somewhat going the same direction. That's the inside. They create a little fortress. Okay. Alternate interior angles. Alternate. That means that we are opposite. So the best way I can explain it is they're inside. So here I am inside. I'm broken. Not a full arm. I'm a broken arm. So I'm living on the inside. And they are opposites of each other. So it says that 4 and 6 are alternate interior angles. They are inside and they are opposite of each other. 4 and 6, opposite of each other. That also holds true for our other two angles inside. 5 and 3. They are opposite of each other and they're inside. Those are your alternate interior angles. I've created a dance, I so have. Okay. Same side interior. Now this is our second one. Same side interior, that's going to be living on the inside. And same side means that they live on the same side of the transversal. So either on the left side of the transversal or on the right side of the transversal. So that means that they're living on the same position. So we have 4 and 5. Those are both inside, in between my two lines that are going somewhat in the same direction. And they're on the transversal. Or my other side of my transversal, 3 and 6. They are on the same side of the transversal. They have a relationship together. They're not opposites. They're same side. Okay. Corresponding. Okay. What does the word corresponding mean? I mean, we have to have a definition. What? What did you say? I didn't hear you. I didn't know. You're not wrong. I didn't hear you. What did you say? Crossing? Corresponding. Okay, if I told you our houses aren't corresponding next to each other. They're neighbors. That means you're on the same side. If you're a neighbor, I really don't I call it my across the street neighbor. If I was really telling you about Seraphin, the guy I live across, I would say my neighbor that lives across the street. If I'm talking about my neighbor, I'm talking about the shit person that's right next to me. We live on the same spot of our...
Why do you call him a shit person though?
Oh, I love Chris and Stacy. I know. Okay, so corresponding means that they're going to live on the same side. Here I am, our house in the middle of the... Okay, no one needs to know that. So, when you are in corresponding, that means you're in the same position. And this is the best way that I have to explain corresponding angles. If you look at your first line and your transversal and you box them up, obviously it has 4 angles. It literally is labeled 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a box. So box 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I go ahead and I box 5, 6, 7, 8. So now if you see it, 1 is talking about my left hand corner, 2 is talking about my right hand corner, 3 is talking about my right bottom corner, 4 is talking about my left bottom corner, 5 is talking about my left top corner, 6 is talking about my right top corner, 7 is talking about my bottom right corner, and 8 is talking about my bottom left corner. They all have some kind of corner that they are referencing. Corresponding means they're in the same damn position. And so the best way I have to say it, angle 1 and angle 5 are together. Angle 1, angle 5. If I wanted to scoot it down and not talk about angle 1 and 5, I want to talk about 4 and 8. Oh yeah. Corresponding, same position. So 1 and 5, 4 and 8. Now if I gotta go the other direction, 3 and 6, 2 and,
7.
oh sorry, 3 and 7, I tried. 3 and 7, and 2 and 6.
Didn't you do choreography?
Sure.
You got that. You got the moves.
So, Thriller. Okay, so they're corresponding, same position. Depends upon what part of the box you want to know. Here I go.
Okay, what was your answer?
So I always box it out. When in doubt, box it out. My teacher always told me, just kidding, I made that up myself right now. When in doubt, box it out, and it'll tell you your corresponding angles. Yeah, when in doubt. I'm not talking about this, that's boxing. I'm not saying when in doubt, boxing now. Alright, the last one. Alternate exterior angles. So we talked about alternate interiors, that's inside opposites. So what do you think alternate exterior is going to be? Outside opposites, right? We're talking about the outside of my lines, not about the inside. So 1 and 7, they are opposites of each other. They're talking about the outside, out. So that also means that our 2 and 8 share a relationship together.
Just the top ones or that?
Oh, it's exterior. So all I care is about the outside. The inside shit is, we don't give. I don't care about 4, 3, 5, and 6. They can shove it.
It is exterior.
Yep, gone. So again, here's the explanation. Our exteriors outside of our 2 lines that are somewhat going the same direction, and our interiors in between our 2 lines going the somewhat same direction.
Is the first one the same thing as the last one, but it's just inside?
Inside versus outside.
No, I'm just saying the alternate interior angles. It's inside versus.
What? Does inside cross
No,
too?
you guys gotta keep that.
Yep, exterior, or alternate. Alternate means like opposite, opposing teams.
Hey, you love the club?
No.
No.
No. Ain't nobody got time for that. Okay. So, using the diagram above, oh, right here, technically above, like next page, what we just got done looking at, draw a line to each pair in column A to description in column B. So let me redraw it for you. Ooh, I'm out of breath. No one ever said that would be fun. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Write this down.
Seven, eight.
Or it's supposed to be
No, you-
7, is that 6? Wait, you write this down?
Yes.
It's supposed to be 1, 2, 4, 3, 5, 6, 8, 7.
Wait, no?
Yes. Because ultimately it's talking about the page before, but you guys just flipped your page, so you might as well just redraw it off to the side. Off to the side. Off to the side. On to the next one. On to the next. Alright. So, it wants us to figure out, we're ultimately going to be drawing a line. We're going to match the correct angle with the correct description. So it says 4 and 6. So I'm going to circle my 4, circle my 6. First off, tell me, are those lying inside or outside?
Inside.
We're talking about inside. So we can ultimately get rid of any of the shit that doesn't say interior. Now we just need to figure out, are they living on the same side of the transversal or opposite? They're alternate, they're opposites. So they are alternate interior. Boom!
Does
Boom.
transversal mean like a line?
Yep, transversal means it's a line coming down the somewhat same direction line. So here's my same same direction
Oh,
line.
okay.
Transversal is that shit that comes down the middle of it.
Alright, got it.
So 3 and 6. So here's 3.
Inside the interior?
3 and 6. So, Luis, you said same side interior. Tell me why.
Is it in the same size?
Of what?
The interior?
Okay, that interior is like a position, like a place. So you're telling me you are in your house. Okay, where in your house? Okay, I need more than they're the same side of the interior. Interior is just inside shit.
Right.
So interior, I agree, they're in between. Same side of what? Transversal. They're here. They're both together. This reminds me of the extremely goofy movie. Okay. And so our relationship between 3 and 6 is they are on the same side interior.
It looks snowman.
2 and 6. 2 and 6.
Corresponding?
Why corresponding?
Because they're not in the same size.
If you make a box, so I'm going to make a box. Box it out, because I'm in doubt. Angle 2 is in my top right, and angle 6 is my top right. Thriller! They're in the same position.
Miss K, you love your job.
Sure.
You would not be able to work anywhere else.
I could be a circus trainer. I mean, they have to have a lot of energy too. The circus. 2 and 8. Are they inside or outside? They're outside. And are they opposite?
Yes.
Perfect. So they are going to be your alternate exterior.
Close everything.
No one can see me get down. Oh yeah, I'll tap it out. When in doubt, when in doubt, tap it out. Look at all these when in doubt things. We got it out. We got it figured out. I never can be sad. I got doubts all the time, and I can turn my doubt upside down. I don't know. Now I'm just making stuff put together. Dab. Is that like this? Like what's a dab? Like I dabbed in martial arts. Or like I do this. I know that this is called an arm bar. You know, like I dabbled.
It's like a bench.
Dab
Do
with your
this.
arm like you sneeze. Like,
Girl, this is
I don't know.
Stupid.
Besides, like I'm gonna dab my pencil like this.
song? You guys never did that.
Go like that. Miss, this is the dab.
You know,
Is that dabbing?
You
What the hell is that?
Yeah, Miss Dabbing's legit.
What do you do? So when we go to the club, we're just gonna say, oh yeah, look at me.
Someone did it right there on Obama.
Dude, I know that's my favorite video. He's all.
Then worse we could
I
die.
died. Look like he stumped the yard. He's just like right behind. No, he's right behind Obama.
Out of nowhere.
One
Like,
hour,
what's
no
he
idea
doing?
what's
He's
happening.
doing shit.
All right, let's do this.
How much coffee you drinking today?
I had none. Oh, I lied. My husband got me a Starbucks Frappuccino theme.
Yeah, you need to
Sorry.
tell him to like, you know.
Not.
Just extra small.
Can I get a kid's Frappuccino, please?
She got extra
You
espresso.
listen to whack people. That's all.
It was like glass bottle. I don't think they make a small one. Like,
But he is white.
okay, identifying an angle pair. Says, what are the 3 pairs of corresponding angles in the diagram at the right? So here I am, kind of stepping through, trying to help you out. So let's underline the correct words or letters to complete each sentence. The transversal is M, N, or R. Remember, our transversal is going opposite of our somewhat same lines. So which line is going totally the different direction? R. R. Trans. Corresponding angles are on the same side or different side? Thriller,
Same.
thriller night. Okay, they're on the same side. Name 3 pairs of corresponding angles. So when in doubt, we
Watch it.
box it out. Mm.
Wait, why do they call it a transverse? Because it goes a different way.
I'll get back to you on that. I have no idea why they call it transversal. I just know that that's what they call it. So I'll find out. I'll Google and I will tell you. Anyhow,
So what's the translation?
slide, slide to the left. That has nothing to do with. I do
Vince,
have
we're not
one.
with you.
What?
Outward kick.
Outward kick,
Yeah, we go like that.
like a fan kick.
Yeah, but that's outward.
What's inward?
Like we kick it in.
Somebody.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. That's cool, I guess. Okay, so we're gonna name KO, right? We're gonna name our pairs.
Wait,
Can't take no more.
those are angles. So it's angles.
Name 3 pairs of corresponding angles. It's just funny, 'cause they give you.
angles are on the
Oh, they give you 4. Okay, I'm like super duper smart. I have proved this book wrong. It says name 3 pairs. How many are in a pair?
Yeah, we.
2. And they give us 4 options, idiot. Okay, so we're gonna name all of the pairs of corresponding angles. So let's start. I'm gonna start with angle 1.
And angle 5.
Angle 1 maps to angle.
3, go.
3.
3. I go to the other side.
They are in the same position. I'm doing my Michael Jackson like this thing.
Wait, so 1 and 5 would it be 1?
1 and 5 wouldn't be 1. That's called alternate exterior angles because they are outside and they are opposites. Corresponding are on the same side. So now we're going on to 2. If you look at it, 2 is in your top right box. Who's in my top right box of 3, 4, 5, 6? 4. So angle 2 and angle 4. All around the mulberry bush. Mulberry bush. We're gonna go to 7. 7 is in my bottom right.
4, 5. 7 or 5.
That's fine if you go other way, that's fine. Angle 7 is congruent to angle 5. And the last one's kind of nice because it's just leftover. I love leftovers. Angle 8 is corresponding to 6. That's fine. That is fine. Huh? I know, but they gave us 4, so why not? When in doubt, finish it out.
When did that you say watch it?
I don't know. I proved something wrong in GOA. Now this is proved something wrong in GOB. Now this is GOA. Woo! I should make a book. They make some good money too.
Did you like mix
Doesn't your sister do
a
that?
Red Bull?
She
with
did
that?
do it, and she made like she made the answer key to problems in a book, and she made like $5,000. I'll just sit here and do math problems for $5,000. Because I don't know how to take pictures and whatever. Yeah, it's supposed to say the example. All right, stay quiet. Hell, Hashina. Hell, I'm doing the same thing. Okay, which is the pair of alternate? Hey, hush your trap. If you guys know what this is, be my guest. Be my guest. Be my guest. Be my guest. It's supposed to say this is like example 1, boom, but this is like a picture, and the picture wouldn't fit with the one, so I had to shove it over.
This can convince you.
Which is a pair of, hey, Thomas, you seem to talk so loudly, how will you come and tell me which one this is?
Do it, Thomas.
Then shut your trap and listen.
Not me out here.
Okay, so, hey,
But they, what? Huh? I never been to London.
I seriously am gonna come up with a dance routine and be like, it's like a time waiting kind of thing, and I'm gonna be like, bum, bum, bum. Yeah, here I go. Shut up. So, what is the pair of alternate interior angles? Alternate interior, what does interior mean first? Inside. So we're talking about the inside between my somewhat same line. M and N kind of go with each other.
Wait, is
And
it on the same side?
same side is same side interior. alternate. If we're gonna alternate, that means we're gonna take turns. We're not on the same team, we are on opposite teams. So we're talking about opposite. So let's just talk about it and then we can figure out A, B, C, or D. So angle 2, who is opposite of angle 2? 6. Then we also know that angle 3, who is opposite of angle 3? So we either need to have 2 and 6 or 3 and 7. That looks like it's 12. That is.
Your boyfriend's calling.
Hey, your alarm went today. Should we end on it? Alright, put this away, put your folders on the ground, clear your desk.
No, not this again.
Yes.